Hey everybody, Tambo here. Just wanted to do a little bit of a talkie video for the first time ever about sim racing. About just a couple of things about why I got into it and oh, look at that. Rosella's just hanging out in the tree out there. Oh, that's cool. Look at these little guys. Hey guys. Sorry, I digress. So yeah, getting back to what I was saying. I started off with just a Logitech G27 on a shitty little desk with a shitty chair, playing Project Cars 2. The main reason I got into it though was the coming of virtual reality and PlayStation VR, and then when I heard that Dirt Rally was going to be VR laden with goodness, I jumped in straight away. There was no question about it. And that's where the addiction started, like for most of us, most probably. You start small and then you just progress. Like in real life, I am a mountain biker. I work in the mountain bike industry, designing and building whole trail networks and massive mountain bike parks. And I also maintain, build and run a mountain bike park in Victoria, Australia. So when I got into mountain biking in, oh man, it would have been 9 years ago now, it is the same feeling that it is with sim racing. You just get addicted. Next thing, your wallet opens and you're fucking throwing money everywhere and then you can't stop. You know, when I got into mountain biking, I was just building bikes and buying bikes and traveling and riding bikes. And then I gave up my old career and decided to put all my energy into design and trail building, which has paid dividends now, and I get to live a pretty happy life out in the mountains. But I digress again. So when winter comes along down here, I live in the mountains, so we get snow, so all the trails are covered in snow, so I switch over to my winter job and I work in the snow, so I get to go snowboarding heaps. But with that comes downtime, so this is why I'm trying a channel, I suppose, because there's not much to do. I go to work in the dark, get home in the dark pretty much, so there's not much to really do in the evenings because it's too fucking cold. So, sim racing. So I started playing Dirt Rally VR, which I was addicted to for ages, and then got into Project Cars 2 for a while, without VR of course, it's not on PSVR. And then I've always had GT Sports sitting there, but I just didn't find the career mode was really what I wanted until the day I jumped into GT Sport Online, and it was just instant. All other racing games went out the window pretty much for me, and I don't know, I've always loved Gran Turismo since I was a young guy, and it's just become an even bigger addiction now. So I really enjoy Gran Turismo Online, and that's what urged me to sort of create some videos, and that's pretty much why I got into it. And I don't really know what else to say. Gran Turismo is awesome. I really hope they bring Dirt Rally 2.0 to PSVR. On the third note, I am going to start building a PC build as well, because I'd love to try out iRacing, Assetto Corsa VR, get like a HTC Vive or an Oculus or a Valve Index or something. Also R Factor, all these PC games that seems to be really popular, and I've been watching on channels from like Jimmy Broadbent and all those sorts of Super GT and Fail Race and a whole bunch of those guys, and I'd really like to try out Forza and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, anyway, without much more ado, I'll give you a bit of a walk around my space and show you my rig that I've been slowly building up. And the main reason I built this video, besides saying good day and howdy, was that I finally got the last piece of my sim rig itself from Next Level Racing. So let's go have a look. Been building this up for a fair while now. I'm pretty stoked with it. I am looking forward to upgrading the wheel servo to either a Thrustmaster TGT or waiting and maybe getting like a Fenatech CSL Elite or something like that. But anyway, I'm pretty lucky enough to have a decent space up here to build what I want, really. And I've always kept this area as my sort of play area, because I do enjoy, as you can see, yeah, I've got a nice space here and a nice deck outside, and then my workstation. So I've got a pretty awesome space upstairs for this sort of stuff, and I do enjoy some virtual reality gaming every now and again as well. It's a bit of fun with a few beers. So anyway, let's go over my sim rig. So we'll start with the screen. It's a 55-inch Sony 4K that I picked up on special for like, I think it was like $1,300 or $1,400 Australian from JB Hi-Fi about a year or so ago, and it's been a great TV, perfect for the sim rig, because it's only 60 Hertz, which is fine because it's only a PlayStation 4, but I will upgrade to something better when I get into PC. So going on to the servo, I've got the Thrustmaster TS300 servo base, which has been fine. Of course, got more force feedback than the Logitech G27. I'd recommend it over that, mainly because yes, it's got better force feedback, but it also has the ecosystem. So my favorite wheel is the Sparko Rally mod. It is the best wheel I've ever used. I even use it for Gran Turismo Sport because I just love how big it is. I love how thick and the feel of it. The buttons aren't as good as other wheels, but I find it still pretty good, and I prefer it over the other wheel, which I'll get to pretty soon. That came with it. And then I've got, for rally racing and also GT racing, I have the Sparko Thrustmaster handbrake / sequential mod. Ooh, shafty. You just flick this little sucker here, bam, that goes into handbrake mode, and that goes into sequential mode. You just get these couple of little bolts here and you pull them back, and that pulls it into a full progressive handbrake, which is fantastic in Dirt Rally 2. Really enjoy that. Going on to the pedal set, I have the T3PA Pro by Thrustmaster. It has two configurations. It has an F1, which is sort of flipped over, and you can have it in the Formula 1 setup, but I prefer it in the GT setup. And yeah, it's really good. Of course, it's not going to be as good as the higher end ones, but for me, it's good enough considering I only use an accelerator and a brake, and I really like the brake action of it. It's quite good. Now, moving on to the rig itself. I've had this wheel stand. It's the Next Level Racing GT Ultimate V2 wheel stand. I got this from pagnianimports.com.au, which are based on the Gold Coast in Australia. They have been really fantastic, and so they're so prompt and they answer all your questions, and I highly recommend them if you're looking to buy a rig for your home. Moving on, we have, my new baby, my racing seat. This arrived just the other day. This has prompted me to make this video, and yeah, it's the GT Ultimate 2. So has full, you can get the seat backwards and forwards there, and it's also running on sliders like a car seat as well, which is fantastic. Fully adjustable for your shifters, which is great. You can switch them over both sides, and yeah, and pretty good action. It's not as stiff as I was hoping, but this thing is pretty hardcore, pretty heavy, so I can understand a little bit of shifting around. I love to run headset-wise a Razer Thresher 7.1 surround sound headset. Been fantastic headset, really good spatial audio. I really dig it. I'd recommend it. Not bad price. I think it was around 200 Australian dollars, so not too bad. Coming over to the desk now, running a PS4 Pro, as you would expect, playing Gran Turismo. Moving over, got PSVR headset and the Ferrari wheel that came with it as a special, but I find it's too small. I love its durability and I love the button set out, and the shifters are really great, but I find that it's just too small for my hands, and I just feel like it's not responsive enough to me. I love a bigger wheel, and that's why I love the rally car mod. And then for sound, it's just a $500 Samsung 5.1 surround sound system that I bought for $400 or $500 Australian dollars about a year ago. And then underneath, I've just got the cheap ass subwoofer underneath the seat, and gives a nice little rumble under your bum when you rev her up. Yeah, so that's it. That's my rig, and that's a little bit of information about me as well. Just a little bit of a history about why, I've been gaming a long time. Like I said, I'm in my late 30s now, and I really enjoy it, and I always have. It's been a good hobby of mine, a good pastime to get me away from everything else. It calms me. Everyone needs something to help them mentally every now and again, and I love racing games, and even more so now that they've gotten better. I remember back when I was a kid playing games like Outrun and the original Gran Turismo when I was a teenager. I was just a phenomenal, which I have downstairs in my downstairs TV running through an old PlayStation 2. I have Gran Turismo 1 on the TV downstairs, so when I'm down cooking dinner, bam, throw a few laps out in the GTR. It's a good time. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions, just ask. I'm happy to answer any questions about the rig. And check out pagnianimports.com.au if you're an Australian, you're looking to get into sim racing. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all in the next race. Tambo out. Woo!